I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. ...2022 Lexus LX600.
VIP or ultra luxury in the United States. Yuri, floor it for me. Just moved the whole building.
Horsepower and torque.
409 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque from a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6.
So what is this?
This is the most expensive Lexus that you can buy. It's on a totally new platform, which is shared with the Tundra and the Sequoia, and this is the most luxurious vehicle that Lexus sells.
RIP Maybach?
Ooh, I don't think so. So this is the VIP edition. As you can tell with our 4-seater configuration, the back seats are where you want to be in this car, sort of.
Okay, so starting with the back, well, first before the back end, the looks, I love the grille, it's amazing. This front plate ruins it, but it just looks so cool. I love the grille.
It looks fantastic from the front. Like, it's very imposing. It's the next level of Lexus huge grills.
So the back seats, we've got screens back there. We've got 2 seats. The one behind the passenger side can recline all the way. We've got a footrest. The passenger front seat will move all the way forward and tilt down. And then you also have a mode that'll tilt the screen down so the person in that seat can see directly forward.
Yeah, and then you have massage functions back there. You have everything controlled with a little tablet. It would have been nice if they allowed you to control it with hard buttons, but there are none back there. And then if you're in the seat behind the driver, there is no room back there. Considering how large this is, my knees are actually hitting if I'm sitting behind myself. So if I had a tall chauffeur at 6'1½", I would not be comfortable behind myself.
Rich people, leave a comment below. Does anybody hire tall chauffeurs? Do tall chauffeurs even exist?
Yeah, I'm sure they exist. They're probably like bodyguards and stuff, right?
I guess.
Yeah, so anyways, you do not want to be behind the driver in this car. You really want to be behind the passenger.
And in the back, we also have sunshades.
However, they are manual peasant blockers, which isn't very luxurious. And then in the third non-existent row, in the little corner windows, they're also manual.
They're hard to get to, yeah.
Very hard to get to.
And then we do have screens back there. They are pretty big. We've got headphones that go with it. And we've got HDMI there, so you can plug it in your like Chrome, what's the thing called?
Fire Stick, Chromecast.
Fire Stick or whatever. And then there's AC plug in the very back, so that you can string your N64 all the way to the front if you want to do that as well, which I would prefer.
Okay, and then you also in the center console have cup holders. Yes, they pass a small cup of coffee, but the paint apparently is some sort of self-healing paint, and Lexus says it's for taking notes, so in case your like pen slips or something, apparently that paint will self-heal. Yeah. I don't know about that, it's all gloss black back there.
And if you want to keep stuff cold, like a sandwich, we've got a cold box right here, and our armrest opens from both sides, and there's a button from the back, so you can access it from the back as well.
That's fairly luxurious.
Yeah. It's cool.
I mean, you probably wouldn't put sandwiches. You'd probably put like champagne flutes and stuff.
Well, that'd be a freezer, right? This is a cold box. This is definitely
you wouldn't
sandwich
want to
territory.
Freeze your champagne either.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Rich people, let us know in the comments below. Sandwiches. Maybe you put your Subway sandwich there.
Maybe. And curiously, there are massages back there, like we said, but there are no massages up front, which is a little weird.
And this is wired or wireless Apple CarPlay, but there are no wireless charging pads up front. The only wireless charging pad is at the back. Maybe because the person who's being chauffeured is the one who's controlling the CarPlay? That seems like weird to me.
Yeah. And then the other thing that Lexus is proud of is they actually raised the wireless charger level in the back so that when you're fully reclined, you can still see your phone.
Yeah. I mean, how would you rate the back seat experience of this? Kind of like a little too small, a little like poorly planned, like almost the Kia, what was the Kia? Minivan? That Kia minivan had
Sedona.
No, that was what it was before. They changed the name.
Carnival.
Carnival.
Wow.
So the Kia Carnival actually had better back seat like length and distance for room, I think.
It did. And to put this vehicle into context, the only other car that we've driven that competes with this because of the 4-seat configuration and luxuriousness of it is the Maybach GLS, and that had a way better back seat.
But you have more foot room in this as a tall person than in
yeah,
the car.
I can fully recline on the passenger side.
And then just for fun, let's open the trunk to see how much room there is. Wow, so much room.
Except not that much because of the 4-seat configuration.
No, it's still a good amount of room there.
But you can't fold these seats down because you have that like...
You don't need to fold the seats down. They're like, a car with these kind of seats isn't meant to be folded down.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
It's a good amount of room for carrying 4 people who are rich.
Yes, and they're gold bars.
So enough with the inside for now. Outside, back to the looks, we do have adjustable suspension, and it drops so fast, it feels like I'm in a friggin' lowrider or something.
So the suspension is adaptive, and it's not air suspension, and Lexus calls it active height control, so it can actually change the spring rates on the coils, which is actually insane. And this feels totally different in Comfort and Sport Plus through Cliche Corner.
And then headlights, taillights, body lines, does it really stand out to you, or is it kind of like so-so at that part?
I mean, it definitely looks better than the old one. The headlights look really good. The grille is nice and imposing. The size of it looks good. I have no real complaints. I just wish it looked slightly more luxurious considering it is the VIP version.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough going on for me besides the grille. If they brought some grille elements to the side somehow, I think that would be cooler.
But at the same time, Lex is pretty subtle, right?
That you could still make it look subtle. It just looks a little too plain to me. But... yeah. How about the wheels?
Wheels are really, really nice. They're huge too.
Yeah, I mean, I would still prefer even larger 4G autos on them.
Of course you would.
But if I wasn't going to do that, what would be the Continental recommended tire for an LX600?
The Conti Sport Contact 5.
And with all that out of the way, I want to get you in the driver's seat because I want to feel the differences between sport and comfort handling through Cliche.
Ooh, body roll or not body roll central?
Drive modes don't even make that much of a difference. It'll probably be the same. I can use the voice for that, right?
I don't really know. Who are you making fun of?
I think ourselves.
Okay. Sport S Plus launch control.
That's not a real launch control.
That's a really good brake boost though.
That's better.
Yeah. Damn.
And no pumped in audio.
No, this is great. It kind of sounds V8-ish almost. It's very smooth.
No complaints with the power.
No, the acceleration is fantastic from this new 3.5 liter V6, which is shared with the Tundra and the Sequoia.
How does the transmission react? Let's get a little floored out of nowhere.
Okay, it's not the best. It's a 10-speed auto. This is Sport Plus. Chillin'. Yeah.
It's not the worst.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of lag. Okay. Put this in manual mode, keep this in Sport Plus. No, actually, you know what? Let's do a comfort send this way to show the people the body roll first. So comfort and sport and comfort, there we go. Okay, tons of body roll, like holy crap, I feel like I'm gonna tip over.
Yeah, no, that's, like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's insane. But so comfortable.
That's like, it's like very controlled body roll.
Oh, that's good.
It was very controlled left and right, like even though you were kind of getting tossed around, it eased you back. So let's spin that around and go Sport S Plus.
Okay, Sport S Plus, bump Sport S Plus. You can already feel the difference.
Yeah, that hit my spine.
Okay, watch this. No body roll. Like, very impressive.
Yeah, that changes a lot.
Like, look at that. It's like nothing this way.
I mean, there's enough still because this thing is gigantic.
It's huge. Okay, it doesn't handle the best, but it's actually quite good for the size of this thing.
It's cool to see that the drive modes do so much.
Like a huge amount. I would almost say very close to what the Maybach does, because the Maybach's got air suspension, got Maybach mode, got that curve mode and all that stuff.
The only difference is the Maybach turns into, or is it Maybach turns into the corner, where this just absorbs it differently.
Yes. So they did a very good job of this crazy suspension having like variable coil rates, which I've never even heard of. I've never driven anything like that I know of that has like variable coil rates. And on the road, regular driving, no Cliche Corner, I would basically just leave this thing in comfort or normal all the time.
Whatever the car starts in, just whatever.
Normal, yeah, it's fantastic, it's super comfortable. So now that we're in comfort, I'm just gonna floor it again. Same amount of downshift lag, but the pulling power, like this is as torquey, if not torqueier than a V8.
Yeah, the drivetrain is great. No complaints with it at all.
Okay, so let's get into these drive modes, Yuri. What was the problem there with me trying to find all the drive modes?
Okay, so now I guess we are into the infotainment and the weird stuff and a lot of stuff that's kind of tricky. So we have a drive mode button in the middle and then a mode select. So if you click the drive mode, then you change the mode select, that changes your drive modes. But then if you click MTS or DAC crawl, then you click mode select to change the thing in that section.
Yeah, so there's several different drive modes, and then what mode select does changes depending on what you've pressed.
Yeah, which makes sense. Just takes a little bit to get used to.
Exactly. And then you have this other screen above that, below your main screen.
Yeah, so that's got your little bit of off-roady stuff. It's got some G-forces, which I don't think you really need in this.
Yeah, it's got a G-meter.
It's got your climate. There are hard buttons for it, but some of the stuff like the fan speed, you have to control through that. And then we got a cool thing called Climate Concierge, and like when you do auto climate to that, it'll automatically turn on the heated steering wheel and seats according to that. But I have found it blows the air a little bit too hard.
Ooh.
And like for me, the thing that I hate the most is a loud fan when I'm in a car. So I have to go through the infotainment to touch that. It is nice that we can see the height adjustment in this bottom screen. So you click these hard buttons, which is good to control with, and then it shows perfectly right there and it responds so quickly.
Yeah, and you can get this thing pretty high. And then you also have your 4 low and 4 high with your push button over here.
Yeah, it takes a second to get used to. So now onto this infotainment is the newer style Lexus infotainment that we saw in some other Lexuses that we drove and similar to the Tundra, but this one's nicer than the Tundra because it's farther away.
And it's also widescreen and not as big.
Yeah, the Tundra one was just in a bad position. And then this one we still have the hard climates, which is cool. We do have a volume knob. We don't have a tuning knob. To get to your Sirius XM, once you click the button to get to there, it's tricky to find the stations. You don't have a tuning knob to rip through like we do in that IS500F Sport that we have this week, which is totally amazing. That's the
F-Sport Performance, Yuri.
That's the perfect Lexus infotainment, the touch button older style. This one, and this one's laggy too, so.
Yeah, it's actually quite laggy, so scrolling through your stations is a little bit time consuming.
Literally very embarrassing that this is their new stuff that they're putting out and it's so bad.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a chip shortage thing, I'm not really sure.
I think it's just poor design.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we do have a really good 360 camera though.
Yeah, the 360 camera is awesome. It'll show what you're going over, and then you've got the angle that shows kind of forward too. But then the only thing is I can't see the front and back wheel like I'd like to see in some cars, but I guess if you have a lot of sidewall, you can just run over whatever and not care.
Well, it's really cool that you can see underneath the car on this, just like Jags and Land Rovers only do.
Yeah, they made that part really, really good.
And then our center gauge is pretty well laid out, very, very simple. The tack looks really cool because it looks like the rest of the Lexus lineup with the F-Sport stuff, but it's all digital.
Yeah, I like it a lot, no issues.
And then we have nice paddle shifters. The steering wheel feels really nice. We've got some wood trim on the inside, so the whole thing gets heated, which is really nice. And then the steering wheel buttons all control very well. And then we have adaptive cruise control and lane assist as well.
Yeah, the lane centering is very nice in this, but it's one of those where it's like you come to a stop. It's like, push the gas to keep going forward. Not very luxurious.
And then the seats up front are very, very comfortable. All the leather quality is super high quality. I would say some of the highest quality that I have touched in a long time.
Yeah, and it looks really nice against this wood and then against this like brushed metal material. The cup holders will fit a small cup, no problem. And how about the very, very soft visors?
Yeah, super soft.
3, 2, 1!
Yes! Good job. So back to these seats. I can actually control your seat if I press this R button over here, and now I can move you back and forth.
Yo, these seats compared to the Navigator seats, like, so amazing.
How annoying am I, Yuri? Does it stop you, or did you stop me?
Are you talking about because the seats are in general?
Oh, in general.
Yeah, you're up there. Anyone you work with this much becomes annoying, and I'm sure I'm just as bad to you.
Oh, God, you're the most annoying person I've ever met.
Yeah. Whatever. And then another material thing, the Mark Levinson speaker covers on the door panel look like snakeskin, but you can only see it in certain lighting, but I really like the pattern of that.
Yeah, and then the sound system's really, really good as well. And because it's a Lexus, just like a Toyota, you have to subscribe to services here.
Oh my God, if you click on the map on the infotainment, what does it say? Our navigation has been built from the ground up. Tap the below button to subscribe. Subscription is required to use the navigation of this car.
You have to subscribe.
To use
the built-in navigation.
A lesser navigation than Google Maps.
Yeah.
So I don't know, they're out to lunch there, but whatever, let them have their fun.
Yeah, and then you gotta use your key fob to start the car, which has remote start, assuming that works for a couple years.
Yeah, then you really gotta pay for it.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff I don't like about this car, but there is a lot of like all right stuff, so there are reasons to get this.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that this exists. It's cool that they brought it here. I'm sure this does really well in sales in like Dubai and countries like that.
And if you're looking to buy one in the United States, tsb.truecar.com, or you can also look for different Lexus SUVs there too.
Yes, and non-Lexus SUVs as well.
Yeah. So with all that out of the way, probably time to get to the price.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. The most expensive Lexus that you can buy. This one starts at $106,950.
Canadian.
This one is spec'd out to $151,200.
So I guess the 106 probably has a bench seat in the back and a third row.
Yeah, it definitely does, and then you can get like a very high trim without the 4-seater configuration as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a cool Lexus, and that Lexus, what was that Lexus that we drove, the sedan with the cool interior?
Oh, the LS.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
thing's sick.
I get it as an alternative to what everyone else has, because it is cool to have a rarer model on the road.
And this will theoretically be reliable, so you won't have to take it to the dealer as much as a Maybach potentially.
Potentially, theoretically.
Correct.
So let us know in the comments below anything about you or anyone you know who bought a car to be chauffeured around. I don't know anything about that world, and I'd love to hear some stories.
Yes. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the GV80 is coming out in a 4-seater configuration, so we are excited to find out if that is going to be better than this.
Triple comparo, this GV80 and that minivan Carnival.
And Maybach.
No.
Quadruple comparo.
Not the Maybach. It automatically won already.
See you guys.